Hello, fifth graders. Today's video is all about calculating volume. You have a set of problems on the week 6 fifth grade at-home learning opportunities that involves calculating volume. Just as a refresher, I want to remind you that when you calculate volume, you're trying to find the measurements of 3 different dimensions of a cube or a rectangular prism. In this case, the volume of your rectangular prism would be the length times the width times the height. Okay, I think one of the one of the rectangular prisms that you're asked to calculate has dimensions of 5 times 2 times 4. In this case, the length would go first, 5, and then the width would be the 2, it's in the middle, and then 4 would be the height. But here's the good news. If you juggle those 3 dimensions, it doesn't matter which order you put them in, you should still end up with a grand total of 40 cubic centimeters. Cubic centimeters because when we measure volume, we're measuring it in terms of a cubic unit of some kind. Okay, now, I went ahead and I started juggling the numbers around, looking like this, trying to count all the possibilities of the number combinations you can multiply together for the 3 dimensions that ends up equaling 40 cubic centimeters, just like it says in your assignment. Just using 5, 2, and 4's dimensions, as you can see, I juggled them around a whole lot and came up with 5 different possibilities. And then there's other numbers that you can use to combine to make 40 cubic centimeters, like for instance 1 times 10 times 4 will make your 40, and I bet you could probably juggle those around as well. 10 times 4 times 1, 4 times 1 times 10, and so on and so on. So I'd like to offer a challenge to you. I stopped counting combinations of ways you can make 40 cubic centimeters at 23 3-number combinations. I want to know if you can top my total. Just go ahead and send your work to me. Anybody that can top my total of 23 combinations that makes 40 cubic centimeters receives a hearty handshake when we see each other again. There is another problem, excuse me. There is another problem on your at-home learning opportunities that reads a little something like this. A rectangular prism has a volume of 144 cubic units and a base of 48 square units. So what exactly are they talking about when they talk about base? Well, in a rectangular prism like this one, the bottom is the base. And just like we looked at before, if you multiply the length times the width, those are the 2 dimensions that make up the base. So in that particular problem, the length times the width makes 48 cubic units. Now, what number would you need to make 144 cubic units in all? That's your question, and that's how you figure it out. You find the missing number to multiply. Now that we've had a chance to talk about that, back to the coffee.